Mustache, Meat, Muppet, Fickle, People, Pickler, plays percussion.
Just a small town girl, living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room, the smell wine and cheap perfume. For a smile that can share the night, it goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard, their shadows searching.
Hola, boys and girls, and
What's
welcome.
up there, Chris?
Yeah, well, you know, same old shit. The atmosphere, stratosphere, troposphere.
Were you about to say welcome to another episode of
No,
See No, Hear No, Speak No?
I really wasn't, but it crossed
Okay.
my mind, but only after I had started it, so it wasn't like a premeditated thing.
Okay, because I will fucking fight you.
Well, I mean, you might get a chance here pretty soon. When I bring the UFOs, conspiracies, and Moida straight to your motherfucking dough.
Are we telling people that is that happening for sure? Are you?
No, I'm working on the logistics.
Okay.
I'm
Okay, let's just say that logistics are being worked on, and hopefully maybe something cool will happen.
It could be cool. It could be.
It could be
cool.
real cool, because I was thinking that, you know, if that cool thing does happen, that maybe we could I don't know, tell our little Louisiana folk to meet us somewhere or some shit, you know?
That could work too.
Could be fun. Could be fun. But I'm not saying where, because it's in Maine.
It's in Maine.
That's right. The Louisiana folk are going to have to meet us in Maine.
Ooh, that'd be a trip for them. I'm not so sure they'd be good driving and all that. It is probably covered in like 5 feet of snow by now.
Well, let's just tell them to go there anyway, and just tell us how the driving conditions are.
Yeah, let us know how it is up there where there's dog shit for signal, but great lobster.
Oh, hey, just real quick, because it's in my head right now. We never, ever, ever remember to tell people to join the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Do that. There's people over there, and you guys can talk to each other. We're there most nights.
We are.
As well. So
You're there more than I am.
I'm there because I have an app on my phone that tells me when somebody wants something from me from there.
Yeah, that's the thing. My friends don't generally talk to me, and then I find myself like, what do you want now? Oh, God, are we still talking about this? Like,
I wonder why your friends don't talk to you,
it's
Chris.
not even, I just wish I could say it instead, but then nobody wants to listen to a voice memo wave file or whatever, you know? We're all lazy assholes, but like our technology can't be fast enough. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it's not until it just blinks it into existence in our faces, and we can read it, blink it back, and
I need telepathy. That's what I need. I need to just beam it right to you.
Yeah, but telepathy usually comes along with like you being able to read my mind too, and not just like my thoughts sent.
I'll do my best not to.
Yeah. Well,
and
just not
I'll
between
also
5 and 7.
I'll also
That's
do my
Willie's
absolute
time.
best not to beam you random pictures of trannies before noon.
I don't believe that for a fucking second.
That doesn't mean I won't be thinking about them, and it also doesn't mean that I won't lose control when I'm thinking about that, and then you pop into my head that no, I can't send this to you now. It might just be such an overwhelming feeling that you just get it all of a sudden, and then it breaks into one of your dreams when you're sleeping all fucking day, and you're like,
hey, dude, I'm up at least by 10 o'clock every day.
Whatever.
And usually before, but can can you just at least ask me, like, before you send me a beautiful woman with a doodad just way more impressive than mine? Can you just ask me if I've had my coffee yet?
Okay.
Like,
yes.
Like, I'm not saying that has to stop you from sending it. It should. But just ask me. Like, give me the courtesy of the illusion of care.
All right. Well, since that was a request, and the rule is just that, it's a rule.
Yes.
You know, the rule.
It's a rule that you've already broken.
Noon.
You have already broken this rule.
All right. Well, we should move on before this episode becomes how Chris breaks rules, because
you didn't even use the excuse that you may have been in a different time zone. Like, I would have accepted that. But you didn't even do it. You were like, yeah, sorry.
I didn't notice the time because I had been up since fucking forever. So by the time I sent you that, I mean, you know, it was time for me.
You had already masturbated to it many times.
It was time. I mean, you know, I may have had my dick out while I was running down the road, but that's neither here nor there. That's
just a normal
day. Because it's something completely unrelated.
Right. Anyway, hey, my name's Jason Rambo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I'll be sure to, never mind.
Yeah, be a dick about it, Chris.
I'll have it etched on your gravestone in beautiful font. Yeah, he just said it. I'm Chris. You guys don't get a last name for now. This time, you'll have to listen to a previous episode if you care for that information.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah?
Hey, bud. What's this episode about?
Oh, this episode is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be fun. You know, let me just start by making a correction/update from one of our far earlier episodes. When you may remember this statement that I made about how, you know what, I think it was in the fucking Axeman episode. I made the statement of how, even though TV makes it seem like everybody kills people all the fucking time, you know, something like that, like what we were talking about, is still, you know, exceedingly rare. Well,
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay,
right.
So the update/correction is I've been pretty much immersed in as much serial killer documentaries as I can fucking find while I'm just...
You make mama so proud.
Yeah, while I'm just rolling down the road, and, you know, it doesn't depress me or anything like that. It's fucking fascinating as hell because I'm a huge fan of psychology. So, the update is that, yes, it is exceedingly rare in the grand scheme of things, just like winning the lottery is exceedingly rare for, I don't know, it doesn't matter. It's like, there's 7 billion people, okay? So, even 100 in one country is still really rare. But
like
that's
100 people that kill a bunch of other people, or 100 people to be killed?
No, 100 people that kill a bunch of other people.
Okay.
So, the correction is that I really don't, like, okay, so I've noticed that the 70s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s were chock fucking full of serial killers.
They were just full of chalk.
Full. Oh, there was tons of chalk. Yeah. The cops brought the chalk, but no, man. I mean, and this was now granted, most of the documentaries you can find are American serial killers. You can find some British ones. You can find some, you know, about some other random people here and there, French and stuff like that. But
right.
So there's no real, I mean, without really looking up true numbers and statistics and shit, if you could find them on the intranet, there's no real telling how many were in each country per decade. But in America, there was a lot.
Oh, yeah. There was a bunch.
Dude.
There was bunches and bunches.
I mean, in the fucking...
Grapes bunches.
The Hillside Strangler, and there was 4 of them going at the same time. The Hillside Strangler.
Oh, I'm sure there were actually probably more than that. I mean, I think the statistic is that there's something like 20 some odd serial killers operating in America at any given moment in time?
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, that was just California. 4 going at the same exact time.
Ah.
You know, remember I was telling you in New Orleans and surrounding areas, before and shortly thereafter Katrina, in 2005, there was 3. There were 2 in Baton Rouge and 1 in New Orleans itself. And Kenner and fucking Metairie and everywhere we were while we were there in high school at the right age for the fucking shit that he was doing.
Well, I mean, it's probably a good thing that we're not pretty ladies.
Woo! Shit was real.
Well, at least for that, it's a good thing. Otherwise, I don't think I'd mind so much.
How did we not hear? I didn't hear anything about this, though. I didn't hear that we had a serial killer while I was in high school. What the fuck?
I remember one when I was much younger than high school age. I was definitely in elementary school, because I remember whatever place my sister-in-law worked at the time. I remember her coming here and saying that they were checking everybody's cars and trunks as they went in because there was a serial killer about. And I remember just not being able to sleep that night from just being so absolutely terrified that the serial killer was going to come and get me. But who the hell knows when exactly or who exactly or what exactly that was. That's the one that I remember being, at least for that one night, super freaking scared of.
Shit is whack.
So, is your point that you're trying to make right now that, holy crap, there's a bunch of serial killers?
Yeah. Like, holy crap, dude. You if the news doesn't broadcast it, it's not in people's minds.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's just like Moses Sithole. I mean, you know, he killed all those ladies and a baby in less than a year. But maybe we didn't hear about it for sure because it's, a South African dealie. But I'm sure we didn't hear about it because they were South African blacks that were being murdered.
True.
So there's so many different things. Like the less dead is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to call someone.
That's awful.
Because it is. But that is how they're treated by police and investigators and things like that. If a black prostitute turns up dead, then they are less likely to give a shit than if a little white girl turns up dead.
I mean, to be fair, it's mostly impoverished people of any race in any country. But, yes, especially in this country and apparently South Africa, yeah.
I'm sorry, I meant to say rich little white girl.
So, well, my main point, though, is before we get too far off, is that...
We're already way too far off.
Is that don't just... Boys and girls, don't be fucking absent-minded just because you're not hearing about it happening right now in your city. Motherfuckers are crazy everywhere you go, seriously. Like, seriously, if there's one thing I've learned, it's for real.
Especially the fucking Germans.
The Germans.
Suspect.
What's up with those?
See something, say something.
All right, so this particular, yes, for the record, yes, again, boys and girls, well, not again. I'm doing my first serial killer episode this time, so.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Because I'm the serial killer guy because I love aliens and stuff, but I like hearing about that. I don't like talking about it. For some reason, decapitations, even though while talking about them makes me sad, oh God, it just gets me going.
That's a weird boner, dude.
I didn't say that.
You may want to see somebody about that.
No, I actually think if that were something that happened to me, that I would want to keep that as close to my just me as possible.
Yeah, that's what they all do. Have you not realized this to be a recurring theme with... Hey, I forgot to turn off my AC again.
I didn't really hear it, but I'm sure it sounds great on the recording.
Yay.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Never early enough to restart the recording.
No.
Always too far in to piss me off every time I hear it.
Right. But, I mean, it's authentic, though. It's candid.
Yeah, I guess. I was going to say something gross, but I'm going to leave it alone. Just for now. I might come back to it later.
Mm-hmm.
So, who are we talking about, Chris?
Well, We are going to talk about a man who actually, he's an interesting character. We're going to talk about the monster, or, depending on what source, vampire of Sincota, the Hungarian tinsmith and serial killer Bela Kiss, or actually, supposedly, it's supposed to be pronounced Bela. And the double S in Hungarian, I believe, is actually an SH sound for this name. So it's Bela Kish.
Bela Kish. Right. Bela Kish. That sounds like a delicious fucking sandwich.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It definitely sounds like something foreign.
I would like the Bela Kish on, I need it on rye. No mayonnaise. Is the lettuce fresh? I'm feeling the Jews involved in this.
I mean,
my Bela Kish is
yeah, that totally sounds Yiddish.
I can't be having it dry, you know. It's yeah, dude, it's on rye. Come on, man.
It's a Yiddish fish cracker.
What isn't these days? Let's continue.
So, yeah, Mr. Kish, he was.
Let's just call him Bela Kiss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bela Kiss.
That just sounds way more fun, and it sounds like you know, like an 80s singer, like Tiffany. Like, you know, we could be seeing Bela Kiss in the mall singing I Think We're Alone Now, but her version of it, and it's not called that because it's a different song, because they'd probably have a problem with that.
I could see that being the case. Completely. Everything you just said is entirely viable.
Oh, it's in my head already, and I just can't get it out now, so let's talk about some killing.
I'm with it. So, yeah, he was a tinsmith. Hungarian tinsmith, so he was a metal worker. He moved to, born in 1877, moved to...
Okay, so like, end of the 1800s, that's, I don't know, like when you say Hungarian tinsmith Bela Kiss, like I picture like 1600s. So that's kind of neat. It's more recent than not.
Yeah, it's not like he was a fucking weapons forger.
A Nazi, yeah, we get it.
Funny you bring up the Nazis. We'll get into that.
Is it really?
Yeah. So,
oh no.
So, yeah, he moved to the town of Sincota. I believe I'm pronouncing that as close to correctly as possible.
Sweet.
Which is now a part of the main city of Budapest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think...
it just kind of like blobbed it up?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
So, he moved there in 1900 when he was 23. Did his whole... started doing his whole tinsmithing thing. And...
what does the tinsmith make? Just like cans? Just like tin cans?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Like, what else do you need tin for?
I've not looked that up. I mean, maybe...
was tin foil actually ever made of just tin? Tin foil?
Didn't one of the pigs make a house of tin?
No. No, sticks, hay, and brick.
Oh, okay.
Unless they had, like, some weird cousin.
Maybe. I'm thinking... No, that was the dude who needed a heart. Wasn't that
the Wizard of Oz? You mean the movie we talked about at length in the last episode?
Yeah, wasn't that the Tin Man?
Yeah, he was the Tin Man.
Okay, so see, they made dudes out of it. Maybe some like really weak armor or cod pieces. Ooh.
You know what? We are in Hungary.
Ooh.
And when you're in Hungary, you just got to gobble it up.
Thank goodness I just ate. So, he made an interesting little recognition for himself around the town as being someone who was fascinated with the occult, namely astrology and tarot, mainly like fortune-telling types of things. Nothing was ever said about him like performing dark rituals or anything like that.
Right, like, okay, so like not like super occulty occult stuff, just more like dabbling in the weirdness.
Indeed. Yeah, he was no Aleister Crowley type of dude, but
right.
Yeah. So,
but he was known around town for this.
Yeah. Well, when we start to get into it a little more, it'll come back up and it'll all make sense. So, 12 years into hanging out in this town, he hires on a woman called Mrs. Jakubek to
just a small town girl living in Hungary.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh man, the midnight train is going nowhere this time.
That's right. It's going to Tin Smithton.
I don't doubt if that exists out here. There's a lot of dumbass named fucking towns in this country alone.
Oh, I know. Okay, so he gets this chick.
Yeah, so...
go over her name one more time.
Mrs. Jakubek.
I like that. That's actually kind of pretty. Jakubek.
Yeah, at this time he's 35. Been there for 12 years now, so he's pretty... I mean, this is a small
he's
town.
Established.
Yeah, he's well established. And he makes, he makes money for doing his thing as a tinsmith. Mrs. Jakubek is a hired live-in housekeeper.
Okay.
And they go on about their thing for quite a while when one day he's an interesting character. So he places ads in the local newspapers. What's that?
Yeah, man, your headphones were jacking up pretty bad right there. I couldn't hear a thing you said.
Damn it. Are they good now?
Maybe it's just bad reception. Oh no.
Are they good? I mean...
that's better.
It might be also shitty reception. Sorry about that.
That's good. That's good. Let's go.
Right.
So what about a newspaper?
So, yeah, he places ads in papers talking about advertising his services as either a matrimony, like a matchmaker, for rich war widows, or just rich women in general. I
mean, that you would think that just the rich women in general part would, like, cover the war widows, and, like, he wouldn't have to maybe pay to take out 2 ads?
True enough. Point out my shortcomings. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But sometimes the ads were advertising his services as a fortune teller.
With a fabuloso mustache.
He does have a pretty slick mustache. It is well
Okay,
grown.
we're going to be completely clear here. I knew Chris was doing this guy. I didn't even read the dude's name. But looked at his picture. He looks like a fucked up Muppet made of meat that only fucking all he eats is like the dreams of baby llamas and then he poops out like razor blades or some shit.
He's pretty creeptastic.
This is the creepiest looking dude I've ever seen in my entire life. Ever. I mean that so sincerely that I'm almost screaming right now. He is the epitome of holy shit. Go nowhere near that man.
Go nowhere near this man. And strangely enough, you're that adamant about it. But strangely enough, this was kind of high fashion of that time.
What, to look like a Muppet?
Of that in that time, in that area of the world.
He looks
He
looks like if Ernie grew like a Vlad the Impaler mustache.
Yeah, basically.
And then adopted the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's going on here. That's what we got.
It's
It's fucking awesome. So he's perfect for this. So he draws in the attention and the business at first of these rich women to try to find them husbands or read their fortunes about whatever.
Husbands, most likely.
Most likely.
Yeah.
That's been a whole big thing in the world. People just decide that they want to be with somebody instead of being alone. I don't know what it is. Personally, I don't know. I'm cool with it either way, I guess. But
it just got real sad in here.
No.
You smell that, Chris?
No, I'm not alone.
I smell sadness.
I'm not alone. I got my hairy baby right here.
It's just maybe it's a smell of like not you being sad, but me being sad for you.
Did the cat just fart under your nose or something?
No. She's actually being very good. She's staying away from me. She's not rubbing her face on the microphone the entire time I'm trying to do this.
Good deal.
Yeah, so I'm just not even going to look at her, and I'm looking straight ahead, and we're going to go see what Bellicus is doing now.
Sweet. So, yeah, he starts, since these ads are in newspapers, there are no telephones, by the way, over here in this quaint little town right outside of Budapest. So all of these correspondences between he and the rich women are in writing. So he's got to write letters back and forth. And he has a few aliases, and he tells their fortunes and obviously making shit up. And he has this pretty well thought out list. That's the good thing. I say good thing. That's wrong. That's the interesting thing about Bellicus is that he's not one of those serial killers that just fucking snaps. He's not one that made mistakes, just did something dumb or confessed to somebody in his time of fucking slackery or whatever. He's not one of these guys. He's not batshit insane on the level that a lot of the other guys will eventually get into are. But that's what makes him interesting.
So he's more of a calculated, like, this is what I'm going to do because this should be fun.
Well, I mean, it's always in speculation that, and we'll get into the speculation portion at the end, of course. But keep in mind that it's in speculation that we have no idea why he did this. Meaning whether he actually enjoyed the killing or whether he did it only as a means to an end.
Or maybe even just for the lulz.
It could have been. That would be under the category of enjoying the killing, I would imagine. But still, if it's just a means to an end, because he's only targeting rich women, not even young women, or he's not raping anyone, he's not doing anything like that. But he's specifically targeting rich women because the motherfucker likes money. So is the killing...
Can I? You talked about that he used aliases before, and I just wanted to know if maybe I could suggest an alias for him.
Of course.
Bella Hug.
What's the opposite of a bell?
A gong.
Oh, yeah, but that makes him sound Chinese. Or sorry, I don't mean to be racist.
Gong a hug.
That makes him sound of the Asian persuasion.
We don't have any listeners in Asia yet. That
doesn't mean that any of our American listeners aren't Asian.
Well, no one ever talks to us. We're in a fucking... We're screaming in a tunnel here. Who knows? It could just be me that just downloads everything as much as I possibly can, and maybe somehow I figured out how to make it look like I come from New Zealand and Australia and shit, You're
a hacker? That's pretty
I don't think so. I do sleep very soundly, though.
Oh, good.
So, he is doing all this business with all these ladies. We don't know why he did it exactly, but it really does kind of just sound like he needed the money. Or maybe if he didn't need the money, he just got a rush out of it, Got a rush out of swindling, maybe?
Well, yeah, he's definitely defrauding these women on purpose for the money. The whole main portion of the scheme is the money. But, yeah, some of them don't make it out. So we'll get towards that. So, he's well established in this town. So you got to imagine a small town, people see his comings and goings. And they definitely see his, aside from already having a reputation as someone who's interested in the occult and such, whether it be fortune telling or not. This is the fucking early 1900s. That could mean anything in certain regions.
Right.
So, yeah, so they definitely see random women here and there coming and going from his place.
So they're all just like, ooh, Bella Kiss, you a pimp.
Yeah, kind of, but at the same time, this is the early 1900s. Everybody's trying to get married, so his doings may be frowned upon a bit. His promiscuous looking
promiscuity, yes.
Yeah, could be frowned upon at this time. But nobody ever hears any, there's nothing bad that anybody knows about, so whatever.
Right. So, like, even though it looks fishy,
I mean, he is a
and
fortune
smells
teller.
fishy and tastes fishy, that's just because it's what tastes like fish that's not fish. Never mind. Let's go. Let's keep going.
I think he just made a meat curtain joke. Anyway, no, he actually, I made a mistake there. Don't you be laughing at my jokes. Don't do it. The town didn't know him as a fortune teller per se. He's a tinsmith. Only the rich cities knew him as a fortune teller. That was my bad.
Oh, gotcha.
As far as I understand it, anyway, this is a weird case because there are other cases from this same time frame and era that have more information. There's just not too much on him because he was generally a good guy as far as everybody knew.
Like there's not so much on him because he laid low.
Yeah, he didn't have any prior
kept his head
arrests.
down.
He wasn't ever in trouble, even though the ladies were coming and going. Sometimes, yeah, nasty. He never arose suspicion. So he was apparently a really nice guy, and everybody liked him, regardless of how weird they might have thought he was. But
right,
yeah. So that's a thing. Nobody paid him much attention. So one day, though, he starts rolling through town with these giant metal drums.
I was hoping you were going to say with his 5.0, with his rag top down so his hair could blow.
That would have been slick. I should have done that. I missed my opportunity.
Oh, man. So good.
Good save, though.
So good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So yeah, he starts showing up and moving through town on his way to his house with these giant metal drums. And it arouses a little
Maybe
suspicion.
he's just going to start a calypso band.
Well, I mean, he's a tinsmith, so maybe he's, using the metal for something. Who knows?
Maybe he's going to make the big metal cans into tiny little tin cans.
That would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
That would make a lot of sense. Scrap metal it is.
Mystery solved.
So maybe that wouldn't arise a lot of suspicion out of most people who are either A, aren't paying attention, or B, don't know what a tinsmith does. Much like ourselves. I don't give a shit if somebody's wheeling a fucking giant metal drum through. I don't give a fuck. Go take the drum somewhere else.
It's if they have one giant metal drum.
Yeah.
That's what you watch out for.
He had well more than one. So it did arise enough suspicion, though, that somebody called the cops. And the cop came down and he goes, "Hey, what you doing?" And he said, to which he replied, that he was storing gasoline. He was going to fill him up with gasoline for the, just in case, for the upcoming war. Maybe.
I mean, that sounds super not sketchy at all,
No, I mean, you think about it, when the military runs out of fucking fuel, they're going to have to get it from somewhere. And
that's right. Whose door will they be knocking on then? Bella Kiss, that's who.
They'll probably pay a pretty penny for it, too.
That's right. And he'll be like, "No, you must have fortune told as well while you're here."
Exactly. You will.
That's how you get word of mouth started.
See? Word of mouth. Put my word in
first you get the
mouth.
gas, then you tell the fortunes, then you get the women.
Then the real bucks start coming in.
Are we talking deer?
Soon I'll be doing lettuce.
So he's got these giant barrels that can only be filled with gasoline. And this appeases the curiosity of the police, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. So, everybody goes on about their business. Fast forward to 1914, World War I breaks out, just as expected. So, him in his 30s, a strapping man, he decides, he gets basically pulled into it. So he goes. He's got nothing wrong with him, no ailments, no fucking deformities,
Gotcha.
no nothing like that.
They're like, you can hold a gun and you can walk, which is better than most of the people here. So take this gun and start a walking.
Damn Skippy.
Yep.
So he goes to war. Fast forward 2 years to 1916. His landlord is on the property for whatever reason. And mind you, Miss Jacobek has been holding down the fort the entire time he's off at war. Because
I just imagine her behind one of those those little like the frontier fort walls with like the little holes in it with a rifle, like just waiting for engines.
Little helmet.
That's right.
That's good stuff. Her fucking musket and shit. So the landlord winds up on the property, and he happens across all these barrels.
Mr. Roper!
And, yeah, he gets suspicious about the barrels, and he calls the cops again.
What's with these people? Just let the man have some barrels.
Yeah, well, I'm not understanding what all the suspicion is about if he was a good dude in the first place. Who gives a fuck?
Maybe Hungarians are just barrel racists.
I mean, maybe it was a homeowners association sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, I guess. And maybe he should have kept his yard more trim so he wouldn't have been drawing the attention.
There you go. He had the wrong kind of fence slats, and because they could see a little bit through them, the unsightly barrels were an eyesore to the neighborhood.
And as I quote the board of the neighborhood watch, that motherfucker.
Oh, well, they're terrible at their jobs, apparently. They are not good at their job. So, yeah, let's move on to just how bad they were. So the landlord calls the cops, and the cops it winds up getting to the same cop that came around the first time and talked to him personally, and he recalled that Kiss said he had some gas in him. So the cop said, yo, you know what? This motherfucker's out at war. He ain't gonna miss this gas. Send some dudes over there to pick up these barrels. Right? What
a dick move. They're stealing his gas?
Basically. But, I mean, who knows, though, exactly, if they were going to try to offer, Miss Jacobek some money for them, or
It certainly doesn't sound like it. It certainly sounds like he said, hey, go get something that we can put this gas in, or these gas cans on, so that we may wheel them away for naught but a nothing shit.
Bring a big truck, because he's got a bunch of them. So,
holy shit, what's in the barrels?
Holy shit, he's got a bunch of them. So they go over there, and one of the guys fucking pokes a hole in it, and it stinks. It stinks bad. And
gasoline's not the best smelling thing in the world.
Well, the reason they poked a hole in it is because they noticed that these particular barrels were a little bit extra fortified with their sealing mechanism.
So they were like reinforced?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I guess probably as a tinsmith, he put the extra levels of security on them.
Right.
So yeah, they were gonna have to bust them open, and instead they just poked a hole to make sure they were what they were supposed to be, and this fucking horrible stench comes out. Probably almost made him puke like instantly. Right.
I can imagine.
Right on the other cop's shoes and shit. Right on the landlord's fucking shirt pocket.
His fucking shiny new shoes just shined today, and now I have to bring them back to my wife and say, Jake threw up on him again. That Jake. Him. Yeah. Again.
Son of a bitch.
No, I told him he's going to pay for it. He never does. No. So clean my shoes and then cook me a meat pie.
Still isn't used to fucking bodies yet.
He's been on the Force for 20 years. It's really starting to make the Force look bad.
Good God.
So there's this. Okay, let's just. There's bodies in these barrels, right?
Oh well, yeah.
It's not like old lutefisk.
It's definitely not. So yeah, they pop open the barrels. There's a body in all 24.
Wait, so there's one body in 24 barrels, or are there 24 bodies in 24 barrels?
There's 24 bodies in 24 barrels.
Holy shit, that's worse.
23
that's worse.
Women and 1 man.
Ooh.
No story on the man, unfortunately.
Bella's got a secret.
Yeah, so here comes the interesting part. All the women were said to have been strangled. All of the bodies, all the victims, were said to have been strangled. As well, they located and noticed that all the bodies were completely 100% devoid of blood.
Ooh.
They were dry.
That is
inside.
That is an interesting what you call it?
Yeah.
That I can't think of the word for. Not predicament.
Development?
What is it? Development. They sound so much alike.
Yeah, they could get confused. But to accompany the lack of blood, there was also a puncture wound on the neck of all the victims, earning him.
Okay, well, I mean, that's where a major artery is. So.
Right. Earning him the title, though, of Vampire of Sinclota, because no one knew exactly where the blood went. After doing a complete search of the premises, they found 24 bodies, but no blood anywhere.
Okay, Devil's Advocate, why would he keep the blood?
Hey, the fuck's he doing with the bodies, man?
That's a little harder to get rid of than some liquid. Right?
Yeah, fair enough. But these bodies are not just chilling in a dry barrel. These bodies are actually, well, for lack of a better word, I mean, I like the word embalmed just fine. But no, these bodies are pickled. They were in alcohol.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah. So maybe he's setting up for, maybe he's once he gets back from the war, he's going to open up a bar and he's going to serve pickled people meats,
and he's going to sell, medicinal alcohol. He's like, well, this lady had stomach cancer,
fucking
so
cure
if you
all.
Drink this, you won't have stomach cancer.
Hell yeah.
Kind of thing.
That's the right time. All he would have had to do was come down to the Old West, with his pickled people.
Well, I mean, I guess all he really would have had to do was wait out the statute of limitations on murder.
I don't know if Hungary has a statute or if they. I don't know. So
fucking South Korea doesn't.
That's
why wouldn't
Hungary? That's fucking crazy, dude.
It's so weird. But anyway, so we got pickled people eaters.
Well, selling pickled people would definitely have, at that time, would definitely have been the first on record. However, many years... Oh, excuse me. This is a weird hiccup. Many years later, completely unrelated, and perhaps I'll do the story on him at a later date, but there is a killer who wound up feeding his victims to other people. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because that could hint in that, that could be talking about several killers. So, but this particular one it was fun. So anyway, yeah, the pickled people, whatever, the people pickler.
The people pickler, I like that. It sounds cute.
The Hungarian people pickler.
People pickler guy. I make tin pies. What?
I wouldn't doubt if they'd made some kind of fucking crazy children's limerick or...
Man, kids back then made rhymes about all kinds of terrible shit.
Yeah, while they're doing patty cake and fucking... You know, what was the deal with that baker's man anyway? He was a creepy sumbitch. But,
he was like in a gimp suit tied up in the corner. God, that just...
He just had that tall chef's hat on.
I saw the gimp from Pulp Fiction. I saw him in the corner of like a Renaissance era, like beautiful French bakery. And
nice.
It just, that visual, just, oof. That's the good stuff right there.
Did you also see Marcellus Wallace?
No, he's in the other room.
Angry.
I did see Bruce Willis.
Butthurt Marcellus Wallace.
Ooh, too literal.
Too soon. Okay, sorry. So yeah, continuing on. Yeah, so we got pickled people. Pickled people.
Okay, so what are these cops going to do with barrel upon barrel of pickled people?
You know, they never say. They never actually say what they did with him. I mean, they had to have taken him out to observe the puncture wound.
I mean, yeah. I guess they probably took them out and had them maybe buried, maybe returned to their families or something.
I would assume so. Now, what kind of process?
But you know
this?
what? I like so much more just being like, oh.
What did they do? Just kick them all over? Because now there are pictures. There are real pictures of the house. And the house, like, that you can see through the fence, and you see the fucking wall of barrels in the yard. And then there's
how many were there? There was 20 what?
24.
Oof.
And then there's a picture of the cops and the landlord standing around a bunch of barrels before they opened them.
And one cop's just got puke all over his shoes, and he's just got this look on his face, just like, God damn it.
His hat is full. So yeah, no, these are real pictures. So fucking yeah, dude.
You know, I think I would rather see some fake pictures of this.
I want to know. Yeah, I want to see the pictures of the process though. Like, did they just, because they were all in a line when you see them? Did they all just fucking just kick them over one by one?
I think they. I'm gonna say they did 4 at a time.
Oh, dude. I wonder.
Just because that's a good number. Like, you get a lot of the stink out quick, but not so much out that it just overwhelms everyone.
I can't even imagine. I can't even
this
imagine.
Is just, it's just all matter of stink.
Oh, dude.
I've smelled old dead body, and it is not okay. It is so not okay. Like, that shit soaks into everything.
Yeah.
And when the firemen broke open the back door of the house that this person was in, the neighborhood smelled like 2-week-old death for a week.
Oh, it's awful. It permeates.
It's a stench unlike any other. It doesn't smell like rotten food. It doesn't smell like shit or like chemical waste. Like, it's a very, very specific, like, nose hair singeing, like, death. So I can only imagine what these barrels smelled like is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people soak, animal carcasses and shit like that in alcohol to make the alcohol not only, I mean, I guess there's some, voodoo hoodoo bullshit about it too, but it also makes the alcohol much more aromatic.
What, like
which means
the fucking snake venom shit, like the one with the giant cobra in it, and
yeah, I mean, but there's all kinds of other shit too. It's got stuff like that.
So fucking gross.
Yeah, I don't need to drink dead stuff.
The tequila worm. I can't believe I didn't think about that one first.
I just don't drink tequila, like, flat out. That's the one thing that just puts Jason in jail.
Oh, that's my shit. That's my shit. It makes Chris's pants fall off eventually, but we don't let it happen.
It makes Jason super violent.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, I don't like tequila. Anyway, so what exactly is Mr. Kiss doing with his time while the cops are kicking over barrel full after barrel full of alcohol-soaked, bloodless human at his estate?
Well, he's killing people. Yeah.
Okay, still?
Well,
so that's good.
Yeah, but
now
legally.
he's doing it for the government.
Yeah, legally for his country and stuff.
That's right.
So he's out, and apparently at some point there was word that he was killed at war, which I believe is what sent the landlord snooping around the property in the first place.
Word?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. When you look it up and you read, a lot of this information, like I said, there's not a whole lot. So you read all the same shit everywhere.
Yeah.
But
I'm not going to look it up.
Every now and then there'll be just like a little piece here and there that the other one won't have. So yeah, I think that was what it was. Is that there was some word that the landlord received that he had been killed in war. Indeed. And so yeah, he went.
Just real quick, you know what I think better podcasts than ours do? I bet you they don't just look for all their information online. I bet you they read books too.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah, seriously, Poindexter.
Reading books and shit.
Fucking probably got glasses. Wait, you got glasses? All right.
Yeah, I have glasses.
Yeah, but they don't have
I use
glasses
them to
and a
see.
mohawk.
I use my glasses to watch
Porn.
crazy Korean horror movies, not read books.
Mm-hmm. And goofy Japanese porn. Mm-hmm.
I mean, not usually. I don't know. It just gets super weird super fast.
It can.
Like if it's gonna get super weird, I need like an easy gradient going up to the super weird. Like we can't just be like, hey, my name's Jason. How are you today? Super weird.
Can't just jump into that one Japanese porn video where they were dressed up like fucking Power Rangers with huge cocks, and they were just squirting fucking jizz all over each other in the middle of a giant spaceship.
Yeah, see, like that's
And
just not something that I search out. Like it seems to me,
it's amazing
that you might take more care in looking for your pornography than you do looking for the information for the podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've got no problem with that. I really don't care. Like, I don't care if people think that we're dumb or that we don't do enough work on this thing. 'Cause, well, I mean, I do an ass load of work on this thing.
You do.
But I don't do a whole lot of research. Like I said in my my little fireworks episode, I find something cool on the internet. I read it, and then I tell other people about it. So, like, I'm sure there's tons of inaccuracies in what we talk about, but you know what? They're cool fucking stories. And this is a cool fucking story.
It is. And it gets cooler. There's more intrigue.
So people back home in bumfuck Hungary, do they all think that Bella's dead, or is this just kind of like a quick rumor kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like a quick rumor sort of thing. Mrs. Jakubek never leaves her post.
That sounds painful.
In fact, while the cops were getting ready to bust these barrels open before they poked the hole in shit, they were about to take them. She insisted, apparently very strongly, that they not do this. Now,
so are we inferring that the small town girl who's living in a lonely world, who took a midnight train going anywhere and ended up here, is in on it, Chris?
I'm not personally inferring anything. However...
You sure? Because Bella's just a city boy.
No.
He's born and raised in South Detroit.
Absolutely not.
And he took the midnight train going anywhere.
Well, yeah, he went anywhere. She stayed home. But...
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's speculation. The funny thing about that, though, is that it was later discovered by the lead investigator,
who was a singer in a smoky room.
Yeah.
Smell of wine and cheap perfume.
He probably was.
I'm sorry.
Detective McGee. Yeah.
I actually don't know any other words to that song.
McGee, though, smell of whiskey, and probably cheap perfume.
Oh, it's whiskey with dead bodies in it. That's all I'm gonna think of now when I hear Journey.
Fucking gross. So McGee...
Is Steve Perry dead?
No, he's still alive.
Because I know that they have like a new singer, like some little Filipino dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, sure.
Oh, I've seen him in person, live.
Oh, like in concert.
Yes.
Not just like at Denny's.
No, in concert. He's actually very good. So you're trailing me off, son bitch. We're not talking about
I'm sorry.
Danny. I'm sorry.
Steve Perry was super old in the 80s.
Your mom is not a bitch. I apologize.
That's very sweet, because she just heard you say that because she listens to this goddamn show.
Exactly. That's why I apologize. Sorry about that. Anyway. So...
the lead investigator.
Detective McGee discovered later on that Kiss, in the event that he did not come back from war, left Mrs. Jakubek quite a large sum of cheese in his will.
That's weird. You would think he would leave her money.
Yeah, the proverbial cheese.
Oh. See, now I'm kind of wishing he'd have just left her some cheese.
Yeah, figurative. Like another word for...
Like government cheese. Like
Grilla.
Not even good cheese.
Ducket.
Just like, this is what you get. I called it cheese. You thought it was money. It's not. It's cheese. Fuck you.
Dough, bread, broccoli, cake.
Why are there so many food names for cheese? I
was
why say food names for cheese. But yeah, why there's just a ton of food names for money.
Yeah. Yeah, lettuce. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean that one makes more sense than dough.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, I don't know. You would think.
Is it a dough and a buck? You know what I mean? Like, is it like a deer simile?
Oh, maybe. I never thought about that. Dough and buck. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay. So anyway, sorry, he left her a bunch of money. Like a bunch of money, or like he left her some money.
For a housekeeper, it was a substantial amount. It doesn't say how much, but they were surprised by it.
They were like making a big deal about it, like, you believe this bitch over here just got this fucking money from that dude? Right, and then they go back and think about how strongly she was, suggesting or that they not kick the barrels over.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're not really sure. She was actually arrested, and was going to be charged with being an accomplice to murder. When she decided, she insisted the whole time that she was strictly a housekeeper. She did what the fuck she was told. She didn't question things. She just did what she had to do and stayed out of his way. And she didn't fuck with him. She insisted she had no idea what was in these barrels and that she only knew what they knew.
No, it's all very believable, coming from the woman who was left a very large sum of money and was just super against them looking at those barrels.
Right, well, they didn't know about the money at the time. All they knew was that this house...
So the plot will thicken.
Yeah, well, I just told you about that, but because it really doesn't get any thicker than that. They just noticed that,
What's really good when you're telling a narrative is to tell a part after the part you're about to tell.
Yeah, see, that's what I like, Tarantino style.
No, I get it. That's why I said that's a great thing to do, Chris.
Good. I'm glad you approve.
I love it, and so do our listeners. It's super easy to follow.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why I do it. Because I'm easy.
So, she's like, not me. And they're like, okay, fine, bye.
No, actually, they were going to charge her for real. They were going to charge her.
So they're actual police officers?
Yeah, but
doing actual fucking police work?
This time, in this particular story, yes, we that's what we get.
We just see it so rarely that I just assumed.
Yeah. So
yet, when I have a speeding ticket, I'll have cops at my door the next goddamn day.
Jesus Christ. How fucking diligent are they about that kind of shit, right?
They want their money. They don't care who you kill. They just want their speeding ticket money.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Government.
The only reason they care about who you kill is because they got to pay to clean it up. If you clean up your own fucking mess, maybe they wouldn't give a shit so much.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's speculation. Anyway, so, yeah. So she, in an effort to clear her name, in their suspicions, she proceeds to show them to a door inside the house that she was told never, ever, ever to go into.
Was she like, hey, you guys want to see something real fucked up?
No, she never went into it. She had no idea what was in it.
Oh, I bet
Supposedly.
alone in the house that she never went in this room, that she was forbidden to go into,
Right.
while the master of the home was away fighting the Kaiser.
Right. Supposedly, she never went in.
Or was hungry fighting with the Kaiser. I don't know how World War I works.
I don't have any fucking clue at all. All I
know
do
France
know
was against Germany, and that a bunch of people died at the Battle of the Somme.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that. So, either way, that's all fucking completely irrelevant. Who gives a shit at this point?
History buffs?
Fuck them.
I agree. I totally agree. Okay, so she's like, hey, you guys want to see a dead body? And she's like, there's more in here.
No, she told them that to prove that she had nothing to do with it, here's the room she had nothing to do with. I don't know how this...
Here's the room where all the incriminating evidence
basically,
is.
yeah. But
wink.
I don't know how this would clear her in any way. But either way, so the cops went in there and they find all kinds of fun stuff, including, but not limited to, a veritable library of fun time books that would, some of them were about poisons and, how to make poisons and how to administer poisons. And there were apparently a lot of books.
For some reason, the fact that they were books about poisonings and whatnot is somehow it makes me feel better than if it was like his porn dungeon.
Right? Well, yeah. I mean, it would... I don't know. For some reason, it would have made me feel better for the victims if they would have at least had consensual sex before.
Well, I mean, do we know that they didn't?
We don't. He didn't have... I mean, they don't say anything about any kind of sexual assaults to the bodies, so you wouldn't know if they had consensual sex or not. I just like to think about it being fluffy in my head, that perhaps they died.
Well, with that Muppet mustache face, I bet that dude was the one that he had consensual sex with.
You think he was a bum tickler?
With that mustache, how could you not tickle bums?
The bum tickler.
The bum tickler, people pickler. There's another alias for you, Bella.
That's a good one. I'm not sure how many rich widows would respond to that, though.
Are you kidding me? Every rich widow would. The bum tickler, people pickler?
People pickler.
That just sounds like you're in for a good night.
At least a couple of drinks. For sure. So,
Jesus.
Oh man.
What else did they find in this weird ass room?
Yeah, so they found a shit ton of books on and revolving around strangulation.
That's weird. You would think you wouldn't really need books about strangulation.
Yeah, you would think, but there's some more interesting things to speculate about. Why? Well, maybe not directly why he would have had all these books. Obviously, we know why. He was trying to kill people discreetly, so that...
By leaving books about how he did it laying around his house.
In the secret locked room. Granted, it wasn't a hidden secret room. It was just locked. But
it's just locked.
Whatever.
Hey, you guys want to come look in this secret locked room I have the key to?
But, but I'm sure it was like different implements that you could use to strangle people, and, you cut off the air passage this way and cut off the blood flow this way. And
I mean, I'm going to write a book about strangulation right now. You ready? Chapter 1. Constrict airways till dead. The end.
Squeeze. Hard.
That's right. That's it. Place hands round throat. Squeeze. The end.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good book. It's a good book.
Hey,
it's very informative literature.
It's not it's not going to win a Pulitzer.
It's
but
nonfiction.
It was on the New York Times bestseller list for at least a day.
And why wouldn't it be?
May have been a misprint because the book didn't come out in 73 because I haven't written it.
No, if anybody needs a book on discrete methods of killing, it would be New Yorkers.
Or literally
messy.
anyone else in the world, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Good call. Let's try to keep it clean, people. I guess that's the moral of this whole thing. And
it's just clean up after yourself, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, well, I mean, therein enters the speculation. Why was he? What was the barrels about? Why the pickling? What the fuck was he going to do with this shit?
I think that they made the steel drums sound better in his Calypso band.
It could be.
Pickled people, perfect pitched.
Oh, you're going to have fun with this intro.
Son of a bitch. You know how much I love alliteration.
Yeah.
But I was they're just called steel drums. Damn it. There's no percussion. Oh,
percussion,
damn it.
Good one. What if each of the 24 people had a different mass or different...
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like a giant xylophone made of pickled people.
I love it.
He was just a mad genius that he saw an ends to a means, and he did what he had to do to get there.
Yeah.
I don't think... he hated the killings. This is me in Mr. Mustache Meat Muppet's head. He hated the killings. He hated it. He apologized the whole goddamn time.
He might have.
He's strangling. He's like, "I'm sorry. It'll be over soon. It'll be over soon. It'll be over soon." And then, but the blood inside, the resonance wasn't where it needed to be, yo. So he's like, "Okay, we're gonna cut the carotid, and it's gonna come all out. It's just gonna be terrible, and I hate it because I don't like killing, but I would die for my art."
So, wow, yeah. Maybe maybe
that is now how I see him, which is a very sympathetic view, and damn those 20 however many people for getting in his way.
You think maybe? Yeah, I mean that's entirely possible. That the blood loss creates a different resonance than if they were full.
Is there any way to know for sure if all the barrels were filled with the same alcohol, or
no,
not?
No, there's no info on if there was anything different.
He wasn't just renting out kegs of alcohol with bodies.
That's so fucking gross, dude. Oh man, no.
One time I found a toenail in one of my beers.
Really?
Yeah, I was at a bar.
For really, really real?
For really, really real. I got really upset about it.
That's awful.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it before I drank out of it.
What, was it in your draft glass?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing somebody had dropped it in there. Not the bartender, but somebody had dropped it in there, and the bartender didn't notice. I
was thinking it was in the bottom of a bottle. I was like, holy shit, how fucking rare
no, that's
is that?
lawsuit territory right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be doing this podcast because I would be independently wealthy.
Oprah rich, motherfucker. So, yeah, man, I don't know. That's the thing, though. What the fuck was he pickling them for? Why in all of 24 victims could you not have come up with something better to do with bodies than stash them?
How is that not the best thing to do with bodies?
I guess, but it's very conspicuous.
I mean, he probably should have put the barrels somewhere that wasn't just on his lawn.
Right. Maybe a separate property.
And maybe he shouldn't have dragged him through the center of town on the way home, at lunchtime.
A shed attached to your tinsmithing business? I mean, who's going to question a shed? That...
The shed inspectors?
Yeah, maybe.
They come around and they're like, "We want our fucking money, Bella." And he's like, "I don't have your money, I swear, I'm just a tinsmith.
I spend it on this fucking shed."
Yeah, I bought this shed, and now you guys want money because I have the shed, and I just don't know what to do.
Let's talk this out over a drink.
You guys like old lady? Is that what this is?
Yep. Or penis. You could go for the penis.
That's right.
The
penis one is more expensive, though.
Cocktail.
But we only have so much of that one. Really? Really? You just going to do that in my ear?
I tried to turn away.
And into the recording?
I tried to turn away. My bad.
You know that we hear it every time you do that. Right?
You know what else? You know what else you hear every time? Because I'll
Oh my God, I hope not.
whispering it in your ear.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. So, what, I mean, like, a question about Mr. Kith, which really just sounds like you're saying his name with a lisp.
Right. Kith.
Is, like, so, we don't think he was crazy then.
No, I'm pretty sure he wasn't. That's the thing. In my opinion, I believe the killing was the means to the end, and the reason that he put them in the barrels and pickled them is so that he had as little contact with the bodies as possible.
But then, like we said, why not just throw the bodies in there and seal them up?
However,
like, still fill them with alcohol or whatever, so like the smell, like, gets soaked into the I don't know how that works, but like, why drain the blood?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, though. That's the one part that doesn't really allow that theory to hold water. That is quite a bit of contact to puncture someone in the neck, and then how'd you do that? You flipped them upside down? Did you hang them upside down? You know,
I mean, that's probably the least messy way. Although I know when someone's carotid is severed, it sprays, like not like 70s kung fu movie spray.
Well, no, this was a puncture.
Well, still, like, shit's under pressure in there.
True.
It doesn't matter if you're dead or, like, freshly dead or a little bit dead or whatever. Like, yeah, your blood is like a shaken up, like, cola bottle.
Well, maybe it was thankful for him that they didn't have black lights and, you know, stuff like that. Forensics back in those days. His place was probably covered in
semen.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe he just really liked blood pudding. And he was like, but it's so expensive. I'll just kill rich old ladies. Then I'll have money and blood pudding.
That's awful.
Yeah, I've never had it, but it doesn't sound pleasant.
No.
People seem to like it, though.
No, well, I mean, when you're forced to eat certain things because it's the product of your environment, you kind of, I don't know, you can force
like
yourself
haggis?
to like damn near anything.
I guess. But I always kind of think of it like in Demolition Man, when Sylvester Stallone is underground, and Dennis Leary hands him a burger, and he takes a big bite, and he's like, "Oh man, this is so good. What is it?" And Dennis Leary's like, "Oh, it's rat burger." And Sandra Bullock starts throwing up or whatever, but Sylvester Stallone's like, "Oh yeah," and he just keeps eating it. I'm like, "Yeah, if it's good, it's good. Who gives a shit what it is?"
Yeah. I mean,
I most likely would have never tried sushi if I didn't have that sentiment, you know.
Me too.
Because it's weird. It's raw fish. You know, you're taught your whole American life that you're not supposed to eat something that's raw.
I had sushi today, actually.
Did you?
I did. I went and ate some sushi with my youngest sister.
Yeah, you want to give her a shout out? I mean, I know she doesn't listen because no one you know seems to listen.
Fuck, man. She acted like she found out about it today.
Yeah, because she probably did, because you are ashamed of us, Chris.
Crystal's a turd burglar. But I love her anyway. Thanks, sis. So, yeah, man. So, that's kind of where the main portion of the story ends, though. Like, that's all the information we have. We don't know if Miss Jacobek ever got out of, suspicion.
And we don't know if Mr. Kiss ever came home.
He never came home. That is one thing we don't know. He was never
We don't
caught.
know if he's dead.
We don't know 100%. Now, there is other information. Just no more information on the killings, and because there were no proceedings or anything like that.
Okay,
There was no
I was about
trial.
to say, just real quick, so he never faced any kind of justice.
Correct.
For what he did. Okay.
Correct. He was never caught.
So, but see, that makes it even crazier, because we know who he is, we know what he did, we're not exactly sure why. Like, we can get a good picture of it, but he most likely died in battle somewhere, or knew that the jig was up and skipped to his loo. I don't know.
Well, it's entirely possible. Now, see, there's some fun things that are about to come up. But now, one thing I did fail to mention, though, because we trailed off there for a minute, was that. Oh shit! Excuse me.
Wow. That sounds violent.
Wow. Woo! That went straight to my head. Sorry about that.
You're right?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Good.
So, my apologies. When the police broke into the locked room, aside from the books on murder and shit like that they found, they also found in his locked desk drawer
drawings of ponies.
I wish it was that cool.
Oh.
No, they found a shit ton of letters going back and forth from all of these women. 74 women in total.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now,
are you insinuating that there may be more bodies?
I am.
Or are you?
Yeah.
Wow. Because that would seem like it wouldn't be that hard to find out if the women from the letters were still alive.
Right.
Like, not now, like we couldn't do it, but they maybe could have.
Yeah, and they
maybe
did.
They could have let us know. Oh, they did,
and
they couldn't find any of them.
No, now that, well, that's the thing. There's no information on how many of the bodies in the barrels were corresponded to the women in the letters. It does say that they did the search. They did go looking to see who was who, and
we just don't get to know
exactly
the result of that search.
Exactly. No,
because screw you, history.
Right. Yeah, that's the funny thing about this story. But but that's not the only reason in my mind as to why I think there could be more bodies. Think about this possibility. You're a first-time killer.
No, I'm not.
Even if, hypothetically, if you plan everything out to the T, what ever goes exactly the way it's supposed to be? Exactly the way you plan it. Especially if it's another human being that could possibly fight back.
Okay, yeah, right. Well, that's why he picked on the elderly, I'm guessing, is because he was all of his strength was to hold up that giant fucking meat head.
Yeah.
His arms were like noodles, I bet. Just the noodliest noodles.
Well, either way, what I'm getting at is generally your first murder's not clean. It's not
maybe
perfect.
Yours isn't.
It's not fucking doesn't go exactly the way you plan and you think it's gonna go. It's always something different. So all of 24 of these were very clean, very quiet, very systematic, very fucking like, okay, we see all these books. Clearly you've been studying and thinking about this shit for quite a while.
So we're certainly thinking there were maybe not many more, but there were more before the bodies that we know of.
Well, when the landlord found the barrels and brought the cops to open the barrels, this was 1916. The letters themselves stretched all the way back to 1903. He moved to Sincota in 1900. So
right.
Yeah. Now,
so
we don't know if there are more bodies, as like they don't say that they dug up the yard. They don't say they did any of that type of shit. I don't think they did. But
it's just super duper likely. Super duper likely.
I don't think they did. I don't think they went to that degree, to be honest with you. I think they were just happy.
It sounds like they were lazy and they just kind of wanted to steal his gasoline, and they stumbled onto this mass grave in barrels.
Right. So whatever they didn't find in the house, I don't think they went looking for any further than that. They didn't exhume, like, the fucking excavate or any of that type of shit. Like, they probably should have, because, yeah, I think the barrels were the next step.
Okay, so like that was his. This is going to be cleaner.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and less work. The barrel's not that heavy.
Well,
I mean,
really?
A wheelbarrow.
A barrel with a human in it full of alcohol sounds pretty goddamn heavy to me.
I mean, you don't got to move that one. You just have to move the empty one to get it in place.
But then you have to have all the bodies where you are. Like, I mean,
hey,
like,
come look
you
at
have
my
to
wall
kill
of
people
barrels.
you have to kill people in your house and then drain them of their blood and fill a barrel with alcohol and person.
I don't know.
All at home. And that's, I mean, that sounds like people would be like, hey, what's he doing with all those bodies and barrels that he's filling with alcohol over there that we can see on the fucking goddamn lawn that he's filling up?
What kind of rig? Like, what kind of setup would you have to have? Well, I know exactly what kind of rig and setup you'd have to have. But from back in that day, you can't just go to the fetish porn store and buy the parts to build your own fucking suspension rig.
No, but they had pulleys and ropes.
Yeah.
I mean, the ancient Egyptians had those,
So you
Chris.
think he did it inside his fucking house? Or you think he did it in his backyard?
That's what I'm saying. I think he did it where the shit ever, like mystery spot ? And then he did the whole barrel thing there and brought the barrels home.
Okay. See, I'm thinking it's just like he went and got a bunch of empty barrels and lined them all up, and then got each
And
one.
then just had like an assembly line going.
Yeah. Like what?
Just, hey, ladies, look in these barrels, and he just like skipped behind them all, just smacking them in the head with a fucking club as they all fall over into the alcohol.
Right. Well, I mean, you would have to add the alcohol after the body's already in it, so you didn't overflow. But
I mean, not if you have a drain in the floor.
But yeah, that's the thing. Did you do it outside? Did he do it inside? What the fuck? Did he have a fucking rig of some sort to keep the body suspended so that the neck drained all the blood out, and then collect the blood and dump the blood somewhere else, and then lower the body into it? I mean, they don't say how big he was, but what the fuck, man? You're lifting a dead body into a 50-gallon drum? They're not that short. They're pretty tall.
I mean, how tall was he? He looks like he'd be like a little stocky guy.
Yeah, I would think a little stocky guy. They don't say. None of the articles say how big he is, how tall he is.
I know I haven't like posted a post onto the Facebook group pertaining to an episode. Like, I know I was all gung-ho about, hey, here's our research, guys, and some pictures and stuff, but that just got... I just kept forgetting to do it.
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna.
Forgetting to.
But
sorry.
But this dude's face is going on the Facebook page.
Oh yeah.
He might even become the new wallpaper for the Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
Because I would love just anybody that's not been to the Facebook page, do me a favor. Record your voice with your phone when you go on to the Facebook page. Because I'm going to put that picture on like ASAP because I don't want to forget. But I want to hear your very first knee-jerk impression of this guy. Because he is like... He's
not who you want to see creeping up behind you, that's for sure.
The thing is like, he couldn't have looked much different as a baby.
Right.
Like, aside from the mustache, like, I'm sure
probably
his
just a
tiny
little thinner.
Yeah, his tiny little baby mustache was just as impressive. But still, like, why not kill that thing when it comes out?
Yeah.
Why let him kill a bunch of people and put them in barrels?
Right.
Sans the blood and stuff.
Well, there's more fun stuff. This guy gets a little more interesting.
Okay, let's let me know. Let's do it. Do
So
it.
Detective McGee, the main cop on the case, searching for him for fucking ever, finally hears this fucking little birdie tells him that he was informed that Bellicus is recovering from wounds in a hospital in the in a Soviet hospital.
Okay.
So McGee's like, oh, fuck this guy. He's not going anywhere if he's down for the count with war injuries. Apparently he's not dead, so that's awesome. Let's go get his ass. So
He probably just had syphilis.
fuck, dude. He hauls ass, right? When he gets there,
He'd probably get there a lot faster if he wasn't hauling all them asses.
yeah. Well, I mean, you got to stop at all the way stations and stuff. So anyway, when he gets there, instead of Bella Kiss, what he finds is another dead soldier put in his place.
Ooh.
Right. So
That's the thickest plot I've ever seen.
So perhaps same little birdie is a two-way agent.
Are you saying that the birdie is Bella?
I don't know. It gets weirder. So what I'm saying is that with war injuries, he apparently took another dead guy and put him in his bed and then hauled ass. How he knew to do that, who knows? What I'm thinking is, well, I really don't know. I'm just bullshitting right now, but maybe somehow the same little birdie that told the cop that he saw him told Bella that he was going to tell the cop that he saw him, or I don't know. I don't know.
I genuinely want to believe that the little birdie was Bella. Like maybe he shaved his mustache and he's just a gorgeous man without it or something like that. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with them. And he goes, hey, guess what? Guess who I saw over there? Yeah, he's hurt. No, you can go check. Yeah, no, I'll wait here.
Oh, that would be much cooler. That would be much cooler.
Because otherwise, why? Otherwise, why birdie?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and not just why birdie, but why Bella, no birdie, go birdie, bye.
Well, I mean, this is such a huge case. It made all the newspapers for quite a while. So yeah, people were thinking that they were spotting him all over the place. There were several. None of the leads panned out. There were several tips here and there. That was one of the coolest ones. There was another one though, where this French soldier in the French Legion or whatever says that another dude in his platoon, squad or whatever, named Hoffman, told him that he was boasting about his skills with I forget what they call it. In some of the documentaries you can hear them use the actual Hungarian word for this, but basically his choke wire.
Oh, a garrote?
Yes.
Ah.
That.
I don't know if that's the Hungarian word.
Well,
for
I don't
it,
either.
but that's
Why
what
would
I
you
call
know
it.
that word? What?
I played a lot of Hitman.
Oh.
And he uses one.
Oh, okay.
Like that's how you kill people quietly if you don't have a silencer on your gun.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that. Yeah, a garrote. Yeah, he was boasting his skills with the garrote, and
I mean that could literally be anyone in the early 1900s though.
It could be, but remember we said he had aliases? Apparently after reading some of the letters, reading all the letters, McGee found out that Bella Kiss was also known as Hoffman.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is I mean that is quite the coinky dink.
So
although we don't, I mean, technically we don't even know if the people that he asphyxiated by strangling that are in these barrels were strangled with garrote wire.
Yeah, they don't say. That should have been plenty fucking obvious if there was some kind of ligature or something happening there.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I guess that's neither here nor there. That is very fishy,
right? Oh, it gets fishier. So French dude.
Okay, just to let you know, we're getting super long here. So
no, we're done. We're done. Just a few more lines here, we're done. So French dude tells his bosses, who tell fucking somehow McGee, and once they go to try to find Hoffman has deserted the Legion altogether, never to be seen again.
Yeah, but I mean that could just be some dude named Hoffman that just thought the Foreign Legion was like a cool idea, like socially.
3 years
then
after already being in war? Well, maybe.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, and then he got in and he's like, I'm just not feeling it. And, I miss my goldfish and I miss my multiple barrels full of dead body alcohol.
Could be.
I think I'm a just G. So you guys have fun doing you.
Yeah.
But I am going to, I'm out of here.
Right. So, skip then to 1932. Excuse me. My throat. So, skipping to 1932, and a police officer in New York City makes...
Thank you for keeping the tradition alive, Chris.
Right. Makes mention that he thought he saw Bella Kiss getting on a train or some shit like that. And
it's like, I swear to God, he had a hat, he had a mustache, black coat.
Fucking same creepy sumbitch. Shortly...
Every single man turns around and they all have hats, mustaches, and black coats.
Oh my God, how creepy would that be?
They all look like H.H. Holmes.
Ah, Jesus. So the last and final sighting was a dude, and I think this one was also in New York. A dude said that he saw Bella Kiss working, and this is right around 1932 as well, so Kiss would have been 55 or so at that time.
Okay.
But he said he saw Bella Kiss working as a janitor in this building downtown. Well, the cops actually were able to find said janitor.
Okay.
Right. They found it.
And
he exists. But before they got him in for question, guess what happened?
He died.
Nope. Motherfucker disappeared.
He disappeared. That's what I was going to say. I said that first. I said he disappeared.
I heard it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Never to be seen again.
You know what, dude? I at the beginning I was intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
At the middle, I was like, I love this story.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just like, this is fucking bullshit, man. I just want some closure.
Right. How the fuck did this guy know to bounce out every time?
Oh my God. I have it.
Okay.
I have it. He was triplets.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
That's a good theory.
Yeah, he was triplets. That's my ending theory. What's yours?
I'm thinking perhaps bathing in and drinking the blood of his slain, pickled trophies there, gave him some sort of interesting, like a spidey sense almost.
Oh, like a superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the meat mustachioed man, fickle pickler, son of a bitch. I'm gonna work it out because I need to. It's like a thing that's just part of me now.
It's gonna be great.
I love it.
He's like the Swedish chef's black sheep.
Oh my God, he is. Oh my God, he is. Oh God, I'm never gonna be able to look at the Swedish Chef again.
It's so awful. Which, by the way, also another correction. Sorry about that, Sweden. It was Norway we were bullshitting about with the black metal.
It was
not Sweden.
But you know
My
what?
bad.
Sweden kind of fell off, so I'm not that into Sweden anymore. I'm more all about like New Zealand and like Canada.
Word.
And Australia, and I mean, England and Ireland, you guys are the best, and you've always been the best. But
Proud about it, and rowdy.
The real fucking goddamn heroes are, well, I mean, of course, Louisiana, because, I mean, apparently we just know everyone in the goddamn state.
Yeah,
but,
and your friends give a shit about things that you do.
No, they do not.
Oh.
I have 3 friends. You're one of them, and
shit.
you don't even care.
I do listen every time.
Yeah, but whatever. Anyway, but I don't know nobody for dick in California, and you guys are like all up on our shit.
I know 2 people, and that's my dad and like one of my best friends, and he doesn't actually.
Well, then they
live out
listen.
there.
They listen a fuckload.
No shit. Nice.
Anyway,
Thanks, Kelly.
yeah. Thanks, everybody. Again, our email address, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Just we don't. I mean, we give it out when we say terrible things. Let's we didn't say too many terrible things this episode.
We really didn't.
So,
this one wasn't too atrocious.
You know, just say hi, maybe, or like just like hey, if you have some neat weird story like the goddamn Fickle Pickler here.
True that.
Let us know, or go to the Facebook page to do that. It's the same name. Just search it, you'll find it. We'll let you in. It's super easy to get in. All you have to do is be like, "What's up?" And then, but you have to have just giant boobs too, though.
I mean, you know, if I like you, I'll request perhaps a taint tickle later on.
See, now it's weird, and I feel like people aren't going to be super into that.
But that's not the admission.
Okay,
It's not
okay,
an
so
admission.
it's still super easy to get in.
Mm-hmm.
You might be propositioned by Chris
Correct.
for a taint tickle.
You might.
You do not have to accept.
You don't
No matter
have
what
to.
he tells you, you do not have to accept.
It might
But
be in your best interest.
Email
It's
us
frowned
at
upon if you do not.
see no, hear no, speak no pod at gmail.com.
Correct. Care of.
Care of, just saying hi.
I can't think of
Care,
anything.
just care of caring about you.
I tried
you know?
to think of something that had something to do with my taint, but it wasn't coming to me.
You've just listened. You've just listened. You hear that? Do you hear it? Did you hear what you did to me?
It must be getting
You
late.
just listened to another riveting episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
UFOs, conspiracies, and moitas.
Pickles!
Yeah, moita pickles.
Moita Pickles. I've been Jason Rambo.
And I've been Chris. I guess I'll give you my last name, Barrios.
It's on the podcast they're watching right now. Your name is on the logo of the podcast.
Shush.
Your whole thing.
They don't read.
Hey, you guys ready for countdown?
Yeah, we love you.
3, 2, 1.
Don't stop
Peace, love, and bacon grease.
believing.